Once upon a time, in a small, dimly lit house on the edge of a forgotten town, R. Kelly lived with her daughter, Buku. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, and shadows danced ominously on the walls, whispering secrets of the past. Buku was a curious child, her wide eyes often drawn to the mysteries that surrounded her. On rainy days, when thunder rumbled like a warning, she would sit by the window, gazing at the dark clouds that seemed to swallow the sun. Her mother, R. Kelly, would warn her about the things that lurked outside, creatures that thrived in the shadows and watched from the trees. One particularly stormy night, the wind howled like a banshee, rattling the old windows. R. Kelly was in the kitchen, her voice low as she hummed an eerie tune, the kind that sent shivers down Buku's spine. Suddenly, there was a loud knock at the door. It echoed through the house, sending a chill down Buku's back. "Stay here," R. Kelly said, her tone shifting from comforting to serious. She opened the door a crack, peering into the dark. A gust of wind rushed in, carrying with it a cold, damp smell. R. Kelly's face paled as she took a step back. "Mom, who is it?" Buku asked, her voice trembling. "Just a traveler," R. Kelly replied, closing the door quickly. But the traveler was not just anyone. He was a figure cloaked in darkness, with eyes that glimmered like shards of broken glass. The air thickened with an unnatural chill, and Buku felt an overwhelming sense of dread. That night, as the storm raged on, Buku couldn't sleep. She heard strange noises, whispers that seemed to creep out of the walls, and shadows that flickered at the corners of her vision. Gathering her courage, she tiptoed down the hallway, drawn by a soft glow coming from the living room. As she peeked inside, she saw her mother sitting in front of the fireplace, surrounded by flickering candlelight. R. Kelly was chanting softly, her voice blending with the crackling of the flames. The shadows twisted and curled around her, almost alive, and Buku felt a pull, a connection to something ancient and powerful. "Mom?" she whispered, her heart racing. R. Kelly turned, her eyes reflecting the firelight, now holding an intensity that sent a shiver through Buku. "Buku, come closer. I need you to see." Buku stepped forward, entranced, as R. Kelly held out her hand. In it lay a small dark object, a talisman that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. "This is our legacy," R. Kelly said, her voice echoing as if from another realm. "But it comes with a price." Before Buku could respond, the shadows around them grew thicker, swirling like a storm. Whispers became screams, echoing in her mind, tales of lost souls and ancient curses. The house trembled, the very foundation shaking as a presence pushed against them, hungry and dark. "Mom, I'm scared!" Buku cried, her voice breaking. R. Kelly's expression softened, but the shadows behind her twisted ominously. "You must be brave, Buku. The darkness is always watching, and we must not let it take us." As the screams crescendoed, Buku felt a surge of terror and resolve. She clutched her mother's hand tightly, the warmth of her touch grounding her amidst the chaos. Together they faced the swirling shadows, the darkness that sought to consume them. With a fierce determination, R. Kelly raised the talisman, chanting louder, and the shadows began to retreat, wailing as if in pain. The room filled with a brilliant light, pushing back the encroaching darkness. As the storm outside began to calm, the whispers faded, and the house grew still once more. R. Kelly and Buku stood together, united against the night. "Remember, Buku," R. Kelly said softly, her eyes returning to their gentle warmth. "The shadows will always be there, but we have the strength to face them together." From that day on, Buku understood that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the choice to confront it. Together with her mother, they would always stand strong against the darkness.